Hi, today I'm going to talk about customizing buttons and adding buttons to Wix and also replacing them in your theme. So here I have a few buttons. I'm playing around with different designs. Let's say I find a design that I really like and I want to apply it to my theme so I can add those buttons over and over again, or I can save it to my design. So there's a couple ways to do this, but my favorite way is to replace the theme buttons because that is what appears here when you add a button to any page. You can go here to add and then to button, and you'll see your 4 themed buttons here. So let's add one now. And you'll see here it adds it to your page. Now, this is a theme button that can be changed. This button, on the other hand, and you don't even know that they're different except when you edit them, but this is a button that comes standard with this particular template and this theme. If I click on Edit Design here, I can go into Customize Design, and you'll see I can change all the things like border, corners, the font, the color of it, the background, the opacity, and you can also adjust the hover. But this is not a themed button. This one is. Now I added this new button here, and if I come up here to the design, and you'll see here it shows up in the theme buttons area. And also, it has a different interface of how you can edit it. This one has a lot more options to it, but it's similar to the other one, but it just has a lot more options. There's layout and icons and a few other things that you can do. But this is a themed button. Now, there's no way to really know the difference between these two unless you click on this design or to edit the design, and then you'll see these menus. This one with the more options is the themed button. The reason I mention this is because this next trick I'm going to show you, it's a way to save your design. So I made a button design I like. I want to apply it to other buttons. So if I right click on that button, or on a Mac, control click, that's what I'm on, I will get this hidden menu where I can do things. You can do a lot of this with Wix and right clicking or control clicking on Macs to get to hidden menu items that are helpful. This is what we're looking for, copy design. Click on that, and now you'll see it says, okay, well, you can copy this to other buttons. So it just finds matching elements, so similar elements. And in this case, because this is not a theme button, it's just finding a couple other buttons I have. And I can actually replace those and apply it. And that'll replace any buttons that are using that other style with this theme. But the downside of this is it's not in your themed button, so it doesn't really help because you don't have, I mean, this one looks similar, but that was a different one I made. So if you want to actually change your theme buttons, you must add a theme button to your page, and then you can come in, make your edits to it, and replace it. So in this case, let's go ahead and edit this theme button. I'm going to change the border to be green or to blue. I like the blue. I can change the text to be blue as well. And I can change the hover in state. Maybe I don't like that background, so I'm going to change that to blue. All right, let's say I'm happy with this. Also, I can adjust the icon. Maybe I don't want an icon, although this one doesn't look like you could turn that one off. Oh, maybe you do it in the regular is probably what it is. Let's see. Yeah, you can turn off that icon, or you could also pick different icons and so forth. You can change the color and other things depending on which theme you pick. But anyway, I don't want it to show, so we'll take that off. Now I'm happy with this new button and I want to apply this to my theme. So now, because this is a theme button, if I come here to copy design, now it's actually going to show me my themed buttons here. Well, it's showing me all my buttons again. So it's a little wonky because it's confusing. I don't know which ones I'm replacing. But I can come in and change, let's say this green one, I want to change that to this new blue option that I created. Now when I come up here to the plus elements, you'll see that green one has disappeared and I have replaced it with this one. So this is a big trick I really like because oftentimes the theme buttons are not exactly what you want as a designer and you want to replace those. That way it's easy for the customers and yourself to add more buttons to any page that use that same theme. And because these are themed, if you copy the design and override it, it will apply to all those buttons across the site. So it's kind of like a CSS style where it applies across the board. So I like that a lot. These ones, the same kind of thing happens because this is just and I think this is the older version of the buttons. I don't know why they have them both, and like I said, most of the templates and themes that you start out with, the buttons on the pages are these old buttons, probably because the themes might be old. And in this case, you'll see it's not even giving me those other options that I have, that when I choose this one and change the design, it gives me the ones I've saved. So I would suggest to always replace your buttons with a themed button if you want to have the ability to change that theme button over time and apply it across the site. I could never figure out why sometimes it would apply and sometimes it wouldn't. It was because this is an old type of button and this one doesn't fall into the same theme button. So you see these two buttons here. Well, those are not what shows up here in the theme buttons. So this is, I don't know if we'd say it's a bug. It's a kind of glitchy thing about Wix. It's confusing for sure. And the reason is because these theme buttons are the newer versions of Wix buttons, and you should always use those if you want to customize them across the site. Again, this works as well, just it doesn't replace the theme, and the theme is often where you want to come in. You can also copy and paste buttons from page to page, so that's always an option, but certainly it's nice to have those set buttons in your theme that are exactly what you have designed so that you can use them over and over again throughout the site. Another thing you can do is if you right click on these again or control click on Mac, you can come into here and say save to my designs. What that is going to do is then you want to name it and button design, and then you hit save. What's nice about this is if you just have one site with Wix, it's fine. All your saved designs are going to be here under plus, down here under my designs. But the problem is with this is, as a Wix designer, I design multiple websites, or even some clients have multiple websites. And so these start to stack up over time, and it might be hard to find. And if you have multiple clients, it's like, oh wait, which one is the one I'm using for that client? So I don't like to use my designs as a designer because I have multiple Wix sites. So I really like using these themed buttons so that, and replacing these so that I can use those just on this site. And this applies to this website's theme versus just a design element that I'm pulling from, that can be pulled from any site in my account anyway. So the My Designs is a nice feature, but not necessarily if you do a lot of different sites. And it's also not the theme, and so it's not as easy to replace them. So again, right click on these or control click and you'll get to either copy design or save to my designs. And remember that if you want to edit your themed buttons that show up, there's 4 of them that show up here, you have to add one of these to your site, customize that, and then change that, copy that design over to that theme, and that will apply it throughout the site and allow for you to use it over and over again. So just wanted to quickly show you how this works. I was stumped because I couldn't figure out why when I was saving this design it wasn't replacing my themes and wasn't available in my button themed buttons. And it's just simply because it's an older version of the buttons and it doesn't replace those. So keep that in mind. You might want to replace any buttons that are in a standard theme with your themed button, then customize it, and then copy that design over so that it applies to the theme overall. So that's all for today. Happy Wixing and have fun with your button editing.